some of the easier components and work on graduating into the difficulties of mindset. So I shall share my screen and we will get this process going. So slideshow's going. Of course, change your mind to change your body. So there's three general components, of course, to any sort of diet, exercise program and getting better. It's, physical exercise, diet, and having the mental capacity to maintain. I start with exercise. The thing about exercise is it is actually the easiest one to do, okay? Exercise, while it can tend to be hard work, it's almost like instant gratification. When a person exercises, you can feel the exercise happening. You can feel the blood pumping. You can feel the heart rate go up. You can feel your respiratory rate increase. And post exercise, you can almost always feel the endorphins and the benefit of a good workout. Okay, and exercise it can be simple. It's just general movement. Any sort of non-sedentary life, getting up off the couch, moving around, is grounds for exercise. I bring up a concept to some patients where they say, oh, I like to go on walks, but sometimes I'm limited with it. It's like there's simple ways to add components to this, like add weight to your body, put a backpack with some books in it or something to increase the heart rate a little bit more. And it's not that you have to be a marathon runner or a gym rat to get good exercise. Exercise can be simple as just, as I said, just a simple workout, a yoga session. Lori likes to do these live Zooms that she does with her, either the weight training, the spin class she did the other day, yoga sessions and different things. Just it's moving your body. Okay. We do have 24 hours a day. We want to plan 7 to 9 hours for sleep. And really 30 minutes a day, you can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening, you can do it in the middle of the day, just moving. Okay. Now, there's, of course, multiple benefits of physical activity. I wrote down 7 here. Of course, exercise controls weight. By moving, you boost your metabolism, you boost your endorphins, and you burn calories. Okay, so it helps keep weight down. Of course, exercise helps health conditions and diseases. It can help your diabetes. It can help with that. It can help your heart blood pressure issues. Of course, it can help with your thyroid problems. It overall helps patients live a healthier life. It can improve your mood. Of course, when people are if you have a lot of depression or anxieties and stresses, by exercising, you improve your mood, you increase your endorphins inside the body, and you feel better, mentally better. And especially if you accomplished a task or something that you've never done before, say you did an exercise or you lifted weights you never did before, or you did a box jump that you never were able to do, that in its own right will give you a confidence to be able to be like, I want to come back and do this again. Of course, it boosts energy. Of course, by exercising, you increase your energy and you increase your energy output and you increase your energy throughout the day. It does promote better sleep because you actually physically burn calories. When I've asked patients before who are long sleepers, so they say they get their full spectrum, they get their 8-9 hours of sleep. Some of them may state that, you know what, I do have a difficulty trying to fall asleep. And you kind of pick apart, well, what are you doing throughout the day? And they're living a fairly sedentary life. They're not moving around a lot. And because of that, it's like, well, you're not really burning any gas out of your tank. So it's going to make sleep more difficult, falling asleep harder. When you exercise, you burn calories, you can fall asleep better. Now, it does also put a spark back in your sex life, and talks primarily about men. Obviously, for a lot of guys, as we age, our testosterone has a little bit of a dip. And when that happens, it can have an effect on your sex life. Exercise helps boost the testosterone in everybody, but really highly in men. So, of course, that can put a spark back in your life. Plus, exercise can be fun and social. If you have exercise groups or people that you like to work out with, now your exercise isn't just going to work and grind. Now it's a social experience, and you can enjoy this all together. The bottom line is that, of course, it's healthy. It's healthy for adults. The Department of Health and Human Services recommends at least 150 minutes a week or 75 minutes of very high intensity workouts. You can do a combination of the two, but more or less, that's 30 minutes a day. Okay. You can do running, walking, swimming, anything that boosts your heart rate, or you can do strength training, lifting weights, using machines, or even working out with just your body. Body weight exercises are a real thing. The next step we're going to talk about changing your mind to change your body is nutrition. It's the second hardest thing to actually do. Now, while a lot of people struggle with nutrition, there are some tricks or some things that you need to consider. When you start a nutrition plan, not everybody's going to be on the same path. If you live in a household where you're the only one that's taking on a diet or a change in your food intake, you could potentially be the only one doing it. So that makes things difficult, especially for holidays, birthdays, get-togethers where there's a surplus of food available and you're like, well, I can only eat some of this. Plus, there's delayed gratification. If you think of a 2,000 calorie diet, which is our kind of a blanketed calorie consumption, in order to trim 1 pound of fat, you have to be able to trim 3,500 calories. There's no way that you can do that in a day. There's no way you can do that in 2 days. That's something that if you trim 500 calories in a day, now your intake is 1,500 calories, which is hard to get to instantly. That's only 1 pound of fat per week lost. In order to long-term lose weight, it's going to take time. So it doesn't happen the first time you start a diet. And, being motivated to get your diet moving, if you start with exercise, you get a good exercise in, you feel better about yourself. It can help motivate you to be like, okay, now I need to tie in my nutrition, because as I'm exercising with good nutrition, you're going to feel better. Of course, a good diet can be generated of positivity or negativity. Now, a positive outlook on a diet and be like, yes, I'm going to do something good for myself. I'm going to eat well today. Out of negativity, it could be something along the lines of, I ate that pizza and I know it wasn't good, but I need to get myself back on track. Also, nutrition can be contagious. As you continue to maintain a good diet, and once that gratification does start to matriculate, staying on the diet becomes easy. A couple of downfalls of a good nutrition is that the results may be short-term for some people. And the reason that would be is you fall off. Everybody's had their diets where they get really good at it and then they crash and then they fall back. Of course, short-term results lead to short-term, don't lead to long-term results. Willpower can be limited. And this also has to become part of you. A change in diet and motivation has to be part of what you want inside of you. Okay. You have to be recognized as the person that I like to eat well. I like to eat salads and I like to eat healthy foods. Okay. Plus, healthy food can always taste as good as unhealthy food. The other day, I had broccoli. Okay. Plain broccoli by itself is kind of bland. Now, you get the people who want to take their broccoli and dip it into ranch, and then you eat your broccoli and ranch. That's not a diet. That's not healthy. But if you take your broccoli and you put garlic powder or garlic salt on it, now your broccoli tastes good. It tastes different. And some simple tips for a healthful diet. Of course, there are small positive ways to improve diet. Swapping soft drinks for water or a tea. Of course, a simple change is eliminating sugar out of your diet can help cut lots of calories. Most soft drinks are 150 calories. That's 12 ounces. Who stops at 12 ounces? Not many. You can choose not to eat meat for a day. Meat can cause sometimes gut inflammation. You want to have a meal that considers at least 50% of fresh produce, like fruits or vegetables. You can change from cow milk to, say, like almond milk, eating whole fruits instead of just fruit juices. Juices can have a lot of sugar in them as well, and avoiding processed meats that are high in salt and it takes your body a lot of work to digest processed meats, and it can have an issue on gut health. Eating a lot of lean proteins, something that's not have a lot of fat in it. People find in eggs, egg whites, particularly tofu, fish, nuts. And if you're really struggling with how to create foods and how to eat well, there's a lot of cooking classes that are available. Okay. There's community colleges that offer this. There's rec centers that offer cooking classes that can teach you how to put together a good meal. The last thing, mindset. This is consistently the hardest thing to master is mindset. Mindset is generally the root of all change. You have to mentally want it to make traction. You have to want to change. You can't just wish you could change. You have to actually take the steps to do it. Okay. You have to learn to be okay with being uncomfortable. Okay. Exercise is uncomfortable. When you start exercising hard, your body tells you stop because it's hard and it hurts. Okay. There's a difference between it's painful because you are getting hurt and your heart rate's up, you're breathing heavy, and it's hard because your lactic acid's build up. Okay. You also have to figure out what you're not willing to do. There's a point about like a diet, for example. I had a friend of mine and she was given a diet plan. Okay. Now, her personal trainer just basically grabbed a plan off the shelf, handed it to her, and said, "This is what you're going to do." Okay. Didn't take any considerations of what she likes to do, what she doesn't like to do, has no bearing on that. And there was foods that she recommended to eat that she absolutely does not like. Okay. She's not willing to make that change. This doesn't fit her personality. This doesn't fit her. Okay. If I asked a person that, okay, I want you to go run every day and you hate running, hate it, you're probably not going to do it very much. So it's a matter of figuring out what kind of physical activity or what foods are good for you. Okay. What motivates you? Is it the fact that you felt like you got a good workout? Does that motivate you? Is it the pride of saying, you know what? I ate 3 healthy meals today. I'm motivated to do this again. Okay. Take into consideration, what do you need to do to change? What do you not want to change? What should you change? Should you change about your diet? What should you change about your activity levels? What does life look like if you don't change anything? Okay. If you're a person that, your cholesterol is high and your diabetes is out of control and your doctor's telling you need to eat better, you need to start doing things, and you decide that, not for me. What's going to happen? What are the long-term effects of not taking care of these health issues? Okay. What positives will happen if you were to switch things? Okay. You switch your diet, your cholesterol, your diabetes are easier to manage. All of a sudden, maybe one day you're not having to take an insulin. It would be incredible to not have to do that. So you have to make it a must. You can fire yourself up, use whatever you need. Is it anger, happiness, frustration, whatever is fuel. One thing that can be helpful is starting your day with positive affirmation, if we tell ourselves we can do it. It's almost like a fake it till you make it sort of situation. Say, I'm going to eat well today. I'm going to make this something that's a priority in my life. Focus on the small things, focus on the good things. Simple change, like you used to eat fast food, and for fast food, you would have your burger, you would have your French fries. You swap your French fries for a salad. You didn't cover it in ranch and dressing and blue cheese. That subtle change, however small, is a change. Okay. You can try to find humor in the fact that you failed. That would be beneficial. You can turn all your failures into a lesson. You can say that, what, I skipped my workout, and because of that, I didn't feel very well today. I felt kind of sick to myself, and more or less is a lesson learned, and I should continue to work out every day or 3 times a week or however you want to do this. Negative talk is very difficult. If saying I'm not good at this, I can't, I won't. If you turn it into I'm going to give it a shot, I want to try. I'm going to try to do that. I'll do the best I can. That sort of flip can mentally change your mood. Focusing on the present. Of course, if you look a year into the future and say, a year from now, I'm going to be 100 pounds less. I'm going to be healthier. That's a great goal. But unless you focus on what you're doing today, you're not going to be able to get to that. You're not going to be able to make it to that point. So focusing on what you can control today will allow you to be able to be better tomorrow. And then you focus on the next day. And then before you know it, a year's passed. And now you feel better. Find positive people in your life, friends, mentors, coworkers, somebody that's going to be able to support you, whether it be, like I said, when you exercise a social. When you have a social circle that likes to exercise, you tend to not want to fall away from them because they're your friends and they do healthy things. Or somebody that's going to maintain a healthy diet. Try to find somebody that's in your world or in your life that can keep you on the right path. Knowing that you can do this, what have you had success with in the past? If you think that I had success with going on a keto diet and you're going to try going vegan or something along those lines, those are completely different dynamics. Stick with what worked. Keep track of this. There's people who like to journal or have diaries, or even just a journal of how your diet worked for the day. Keep track of what you did. Keep track of your exercises. There's a program that I use that I keep track of all of my exercises in it. And when I do another exercise, maybe I'll do the same one a year or two later. I can see how well I did it, how much I benefited from it, how much I benefited from my consistency, my training, or staying on course. Celebrating a success. Like I said, if you accomplish a new lift, you got stronger at something, you ran faster, you were able to do something you weren't able to do a week ago because you've been consistently working at it. That's a success. Love it. Love yourself for that. Visualize yourself in the new healthy self. Like say, I'm gonna look forward to eating well. There are barriers to all the success. Nothing can be changed, obviously, unless we want or need the change. Okay. And then again, as I dive back, what's the payoff of not doing anything? If you sit around and you sit on your butt and you don't make the changes and you just wish yourself to a change, it's never going to happen, because whether you want it or not, a year's going to pass or 20 years will pass. So starting now, what's the difference between starting now and starting in 5 years? Because, all you're going to do is wait. You have to choose to make healthy eating and exercise a priority. There will be sacrifices in some elements. If you like to binge watch Netflix, well, maybe you don't get to binge watch Netflix as much anymore, but you're going to be making healthy choices. So at least mentally and emotionally, you'll feel better about yourself. Practicing positive thinking. People who tend to have a negative outlook on life can tend to have, can maybe drag themselves down, fail in life. Being an optimist doesn't happen overnight, but maybe surrounding yourself with somebody who has a positive outlook and a positive outlook on life can spark you to be a better version of yourself. Of course, self-talk, less self-criticism, more self-acceptance. All of this stuff does take work and time, but you should be less critical of yourself. And when the state of mind is generally optimistic, you're able to handle stresses in a better way. You're looking for the bright side of things and the solutions versus the negativity and the regressions. And of course, the ability to contribute to widely observed health benefits, widely observed positive thinking helps your health. So to help with more change your mind, change your body, you can, of course, schedule with one of our providers. And if you want to be on our Sleep to Slender program, which can help you get onto the losing weight element, you can always contact us. There's the phone number below. And of course, email. You can always email. We can get you in touch with the right people. So.
And the email is sleep@valleysleepcenter.com for those of you watching on Instagram. I'm going to save this to IGTV. You guys can watch it later if you just joined. I'm going to say goodbye to all of you and go over here to our webinar. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. Maybe. All right. Should we draw a winner?
My bad.
Let's see here. I drew one already. It was Tawny. Tawny B, you're the winner of Sleep to Slender. So we will send you, I'm sorry, I'm just making sure this doesn't go away. We'll call you for your consult. Thank you so much, Andrew. That was excellent. Does anybody have any questions? That's still on? No questions. All right. I'm working on the March CHTs. Andrew, let me know if you have any ideas.